just tuning in from here, East Side Coast. Give me a what's up, a holler. My name is Stephanie, known as Divine Cosmic Empress, Divine Cosmos. Your place for divine cosmic journeys as a ceremonial facilitator. I am here with you, welcoming in the full moon in Aquarius. And also, this is a beautiful reminder for everyone that we just tuned in to Leo season yesterday, welcoming in the fire season. Perfect timing from the end of July to about August 22nd. And here, the initial intention was to be here at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. However, as you walk in the waves of spirit, on the road, on the journey of following divine guidance, your higher self, sometimes other things can come up. And so I think it's all beautiful and in beautiful timing for the message for today. And so that being said, for our intro, I'm here live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And I wanted to make a couple of quick announcements. Yeah. So pretty soon, I'll be updating the website. I am looking to focus more on group journeys, deep meditations, ceremonies, rituals, as they continue to expand and grow, as well as, putting all that together with my live yoga classes, in-person meditation sessions. And so that'll be reflected on the website soon. And I know there are some of you who've already subscribed, and so thank you so much to the current newsletter. All that is changing, just because I want to reflect more of my actions in terms of my actions matching my words and my desires, right? What's in your heart is what you say, what you think. Hey, do you pronounce your name Chelena? Hi. It's good to see you live. Thank you so much for joining. Today we're talking about any full moon messages that came forth. And if you actually have any questions today that you'd like some cosmic guidance, I can perhaps tune in, see what comes forth for you. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, I actually posted this announcement to go live today. And if you had any questions to ask Source, Spirit, I would be glad to answer that today. So feel free to use that chat. And going along with that, today's a full moon. And that is full moon in Aquarius. And so Aquarius energy, I love to speak on Aquarius because I'm actually Sun Aquarius. And as you can see by how I love to present myself, Aquarius is about breaking out of the norm, very intelligent, thinking outside of the box, right? Energy. And as I adjust the camera for us, the full moon, this whole entire time that I tapped into the energy, I was asking, what is the message for us, especially with this full moon release? Because every full moon is a perfect opportunity for us to go in and release any either energetic blocks in terms of feelings, emotions. Yeah, right? Thoughts that have been holding you back, especially I feel and believe that if you're here and you've tuned in to either the YouTube channel or the Instagram page where I post a lot of my messages, is a lot of what I receive are messages from my higher self. And currently right now but the most recently Pleiadians who have been guiding me. And they are always talking about expansion and about us, meeting our fullest potential, answering that call, the soul's song, that here you have a purpose, that you were created, and if you choose to take that calling and own it, take responsibility to create that vision for yourself that you feel, and you feel this inner fire, hence Leo season as well, to share and to breathe and to be brave enough to do that. And so a lot of the messages I share are always about the empowerment and stepping outside of the box. And so this day, Friday, is astrologically symbolized with the planet of Venus, which is about love, relationships, harmonic relationships. And that's not just about like a romantic level, but also internal and external. The relationship you have with yourself, as well as what is reflected at your external level in terms of the people you surround yourself with, your job, your career, passions, right? And is that in harmony? And I pulled out the tarot, and again, full moon energy releasing. Today we have the tarot, which I know depending on where we're watching, we have the death card. And I'll see if I can get any light out of the way so you're able to see that. But yeah, there you go, death. And as you can see, you have this maiden, this girl here, and she's walking in the bedroom, and she sees this shadow of a skeleton, right? And so death. Sometimes when you look and dive in, and it's not sometimes, it's actually something we should always put on when it comes to listening to our higher selves and the messages that we're guided with from our spirit guides, we have to read things at a deeper level, not just at surface value. It's not about death, it's being the end of the journey. It's actually about a new phase, a new transition. And when it comes to release, and I was asking, okay, what is the message for today, for the full moon? And we take into account Friday and symbolism of Venus, relationships. I ask you a question for today, starting this whole conversation. Do you have any issues, whether within yourself, and that's you, yourself, and your inner child, right? Or you in somewhere out in the external world where perhaps there is some sort of struggle, something that is not in harmony. And that's something we want to begin to look at. Because wherever it is, even if when it comes to purpose calling, there might be something that we need to look at in a deeper lens, and then try to see how we can unblock that energy so we can create more space and rhythm and flow so we can move forward and grow. And this is really important to consider, the death card, in a good way, because when it comes to the full moon cycles, we have to take into account that some releases, some areas of tension are necessary, because there's something that's going to be shown to push you for your highest and greatest good. And let me know if that resonates, if anything resonates or comes up for you right now. And oftentimes when it comes to releasing something, the reason why we struggle so much is because we have this inner child. In one aspect, you can use inner child or say the ego, who's so attached to wanting to control things, wanting to keep you in the comfort zone. And it's afraid that, again, you want change. You want change. But the inner part of you, that inner child who's so comfortable, needs to understand that in order to do that change, you have to go through a transition that is a transition of discomfort. I wrote about this yesterday, that the Leo season is how can we begin to shine brightly in our highest and utmost truth of who we are and our full potential and gifts, right? But that requires that you go through the discomfort into a new place, into a new up-leveling of comfort zone, right? And so you have this internal struggle, or the struggle on the external, where are your needs being energetically, perhaps at least the exchange is more or less matched? And if it's not, then that is something you have to revise. And so I bring this up. Yeah, and sometimes if the relationship is not evenly matched, what happens is ego, the inner child, says, I want to stay in this place of comfort. And I'm willing to sacrifice my own needs, even if it's not really benefiting me in the long run. Or another aspect is a question, just to see any areas in your life, where are you blocking yourself and making excuses in terms of, oh, I can't make the step forward in this area in my life because I don't have blank, or because perhaps not everyone sees it the way that I see it, so I'm not going to be accepted. And so that's a place of lack, right? And some examples that I like to illustrate that come forth is so that it'll help you on your journey and make this next 2 weeks. This is what the full moon energy is. It's about 2 weeks of releasing, transitioning into the new moon phase, right? And I had a conversation with a couple of souls that came through and were letting me know what questions they had. So one person commented that they have a relationship with old friends, and I will never share your name or anything like that, but this will help for each other as a collective, just to see, oh, okay, I can learn from the story. What can I take from it? And what is Spirit trying to tell me about my own life, right? And so as we take a deep breath in and allow your mind to be centered here, the story was they were afraid to share anything on their own personal vacation time because of other people looking in and making their own sense of judgments and their own criticism because maybe they didn't like another party that was on their own vacation. And so in this picture, in this painting of an example, it's you have the opinions of others around you that you perhaps are still carrying, and it is time to let that shit go. Because whose life are you living? And Aquarius is this energy who is very independent, but also the balance of who are you in the sense of the collective, or who are you in a social environment, right? And this is such an important question when it comes to the journey of ascension, and I'm going to keep playing on and off like a song in background. Hopefully we won't get like shut down. But like whose life are you living? Like if we're human beings in this experience, and you're allowed to have an emotion, right? But you cannot let that emotion or that thought run your life. That is such an old program that will keep you in such a state of lack. And so there could be blessings on another sense of room in your house that you're asking for, but because you are so preoccupied and all your energy is being sent to this one dirty room that you just refuse to clean up and throw out the garbage, that you can't even look at the $5,000 check you got lying out in the next room. And that's just a symbolic picture. And that was one of the messages that came through. And with real, like, attitude, you know, it might not be in a physical, external situation that you have, but maybe it's an internal one. And one of mine, just to be honest and share it with you guys, it's like, okay, my highest desire in this week was, oh, okay, there are a couple of different things I do in terms of the spiritual serving, right? But how, like, I somehow got lost in how that all comes together in terms of my why, my mission statement. And I was reminded by Spirit that said, why did you start this journey? My why was like, I just wanted to live my life to be the fullest of who I am, because I just could not see myself living at doing a 9-to-5 job and then having to wear like a suit or something like that. It just didn't feel like it was my essence expression. And when I was reminded of that, I was like, yeah, when I chose this journey, my why was that I wanted to serve the collective, to bring them back to their highest truth, to their spirit calling, to encourage them, to empower them, to know that when you pray, your prayers are answered. And so that was a lesson for me. And as I go back and forth to look at any comments that are coming through on the multiple platforms that we're in, I invite you to just take that in. That might be for somebody, whether you see this live or on the recording. And so we have in here, oh yes, before I read the comment, the reason why I shared that story about myself was because I was saying, oh, in this aspect of my life, I teach yoga. In this aspect of my life, I teach meditation. In this aspect of my life, I lead ceremonies. But I was getting too lost in the, oh, and the numbers, or, oh, and we're the clients, right? The consistency. And it was like, I was resisting, and one, also forgetting my why, my purpose. When you set out an intention, you're going to see that reflected back to you, right? Like, if I set the intention this morning, oh, I want to start cleansing my body a little bit. Let's go on like a mini fast. I got invited out to eat, and they provided me my meal for the day after teaching. And I'm like, okay, I'll just have green tea, and that was enough for right now, right? So that's an intention answered, because I held this space. And in terms of resistance, I was resisting the ways of how you go out and communicate with others, because I didn't want to seem too salesy. But then it's like, you know what? There are ads out there advertising for McDonald's, no offense to anyone, or whatever, else, cigarettes, anything else that's not really actually benefiting you, right? Or going to, over time, impact your health and your well-being. And I'm not here reaching out to you and speaking to you about some sort of word or truth that you need to hear, and guidance and clarity that will actually help you, right? And so, Chelena says that I did this with baby daddy for 4 years. But we've been apart for a year now. And now I have no one to blame. And she says, sometimes when you're being pushed, it can get uncomfortable. And so let me know if you want to elaborate that last one regarding the situation where you are, if there's anything you want to touch base on. And I also want to say thank you for your comments, for sharing, because this helps to, again, me engage with you guys, right? Not just sitting behind the screen and not being in direct contact. And so with this full moon, struggle. Sometimes the inner child, the ego, gets so afraid that I'd rather sit in a comfort zone. I'd rather I'd rather, sit in the pile in my room where there's so much junk piling up, and I keep getting like irritated and triggered, and I'm not happy. Ooh, yes, great one. And somebody recently came to me when I went out to lunch, and they shared their story. They've been waiting for something to go through, and they're almost at the end of the journey, and it's taken about 3 years. They applied for a visa, and they're at the very end. They're just waiting for the response. But sometimes we get stuck in frustration where we want it to hurry up. We want it to hurry up. But that type of vibrational energy that you're putting out, what happens is, the way they put it is, you are setting up a field of energetic block that will only, one, take a little bit longer for you to receive that, right? Because the timing's not in your hands. You don't know when that is. But also, two, you're not enjoying the journey. What if it takes 5 years, but because you don't know, you end up having 5 years of riding an emotional roller coaster. And in that emotional roller coaster, you could have enjoyed a more balanced life, right? In terms of feeling balanced enough and empowered enough in your truth to move forward. You could have made some steps of progress, right? Somewhere. Or you're so nitpicky, you're looking at the room that's already clean, but you keep seeing lack when something else needs your attention. Let the angels go do their work, that where you, in that area, in that room, in that direction where you've already sent your prayers. Let them handle it while you go do whatever else you need to be doing, because you're multidimensional and you have many other things that need your attention and your power and your presence. And so 𝘛𝘳𝘢𝘍𝑗𝘍 comes, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, taking ownership of my own balance. Now learning to hold all the aspects of myself with love. Ooh. And that's very, I like that you said that. It's a great awakening. How do we release things? And step one, yes, acceptance. Everything's a reflection in the external world, a hologram of your inner well-being. And when we're being nudged, irked, pushed, it's actually the releasing part is perhaps a sign in that space and area of our lives that are encouraging us to make room for growth. So the first step is, to love myself and to forgive any judgments that might be coming through in the monkey brain, right? And let me take a moment to pause. Because when you step into that space of gratitude, you are automatically like shot off in a rocket sphere in this space where you begin to see with more clarity and your mind begins to expand. And I love that you said that as a reminder, because that's actually the other touch point, that we have to come into this space of acceptance when we are struggling in this tug of war, physically, energetically, spiritually, in order to, what, this is no longer serving me, and let me take the best action that comes forth, right? And somebody's other question that came through, they were asking, I would like to know, what is my next real desire that I want to fulfill? And when you're in a space of a question, and it might not be like uber frustration, again, you come into the space of neutrality, where that spaceship is grounded and landed right before it lifts off, right? It's that space where you get the great space of awakening and that answer to your question when you just pause in and tune in into your own inner voice of clarity. And it doesn't mean that you have to sit down in easy pose position for 2 hours until you get an answer. There's all you need to do is get into a state where your mind is no longer thinking on the lack or frustrations or low vibrational thoughts, emotions, feelings. You just have to be in a state of any sort of emotion or vibration mindset that's either of abundance, love, happiness, joy, excitement, where you are fully present here, where the spirit within you is, and you can feel that embodiment within your own personality, in your own body. Okay, that was the pop of a balloon. And these are just tips that I find that help, because all the answers you need are within you. And so rather than falling into a state of lack or rushing it because I can't control it, or trying to collect every single penny on the floor and, sort of sensation of rushing, these are just images to exemplify the message. The essence that we're meant to get into that next stage, wherever you're wanting to expand, that was the third point, is maybe it's not about getting a new thing, starting all over from scratch. Ooh, I'm speaking to myself right now. And I'm glad this resonates with you, 𝘛𝘳𝘢𝘯𝘴𝘧𝘰𝘳𝘍. Question is, how else can I expand? Fill in the blank in this area of my life. And just to help paint the picture for you guys, going back to my story, I said, I do all these other things. How do they all fit the picture? But when I started holding back to my why I started this journey was so that you can feel the clarity, how to have a direct connection to spirit and see the miracles in your life. And as a priestess, I believe very highly in prayer. The moment I pray, if I hold that vibration of high faith and belief and good vibrational energy around me, I'll see it responded to me in some form, in some shape. I might not know how it will be delivered, but I'm willing to accept it because I know that Source, God, the universe, knows exactly what I need. Knows exactly what I need right now, right? In terms of this prayer that I really want for me. And expansion is okay. So when I started saying, this is my intention, I'm holding, someone reached out to me, boom, and or a post was out there, and they were like, we're looking for someone who holds ceremonial space, who can lead shamanic journeys. And I'm not talking about a, online atmosphere. It's like actually out there in a holistic clinic with practitioners, and they're looking for someone who does what I do. Because I set the intention that I want this. I might not have seen it before, I don't know what you call it, but this is the essence of what I do. My intention is to help you to connect. 𝘛𝘳𝘢𝘢𝘯𝘴𝘧𝘰𝘳𝘍. Did I say that right? With a Spanish accent, we go ch. But yes, 𝘛𝘳𝘢𝘢𝘯𝘴𝘧𝘰𝘳𝘍. Let me know if I said that right for you. And so that is one point. Where is it that I need to expand? The reason why, because maybe you haven't been asking with clarity and being bold, loving yourself enough to, from a space of knowing that you are absolutely and more than worthy of what you're asking, and more than that, right? If you see on my post on Instagram, there was this picture that said, oh, I'm asking God, I'm asking the divine, I'm sending it out to my spirit guides, I'm asking for a house. And it's a picture of a house in the suburbs. And then they say, this is what I asked for. And then they say, and right here, it's a mansion that God gave me, that the universe gave me, more than I had asked. I didn't know how it was going to be delivered, but it was more than I expected, because ego, our own perceptions, we only know what we know, but the universe's love for you is so much bigger than that. And real life testimony to encourage you, and however shape and form these messages are resonating with you, is we set the intention to, hey Dan, get a house. I just listed what I wanted. I have no idea what my house was going to look like. And then it turns out the house that we just got is a white picket fence with the garden already ready, because I've been wanting a garden. I don't garden, but I love being outside in nature. And they've already set it up for me. They have other things in there. I said I didn't want to go and, have to renovate this house. I want to do a little bit minimal work for right now. And it's already set up. And it was, again, certain things that perhaps your own lineage, your own generation past before you, your ancestors, did not have. But you are the one who's going to receive things that they never imagined. Case in point, my wedding. My family, they are, from Guatemala. And that's like in Central America, where, to think of like a Disney princess wedding, like how often would that pop up in their head as an image, right? But we got that over here, and my dad got to enjoy that before he left. And it's things like that. I didn't think once that I would get something like that, but when you set the intention in prayer and you think of yourself one worthy of receiving, you will receive so much more. And so I just want that to hit there in your soul to, give you that amp of one, cosmic tune-up messages are meant for that. That something you will hear will come into the forefront of your mind either now or a couple hours later. Clarity, give you that upliftment energetically that I get also from other people that I observe and tune in and listen to. And I know that it'll give me that light, that my why will remind me why I am here, why I am doing this, and do not give up, because my prayer is coming in, right? And so to pull a card, I know that sometimes I have to be very focused. So I pray the messages come in through for you guys and hit some way. I'm pulling a card right now, and I'll pull for anyone who is present. And if you have a question, feel free to write down a question you have that we can ask and see what comes through. Or an intention. You always want to set an intention when you're asking for clarity. Or just, sometimes I'll say, I'm asking for a word of encouragement. What is my word? And I'm going to pull one for a soul sister who had asked. Now, I did say what came through. A lot of my messages are just intuitive. When I think about it, I think about you, I pray about you, and see what is it that comes forth. And their question was, what is my next move? We answered it from one perspective, and just sometimes pictures, images hit also at a different level for you. And so we ask, what is my next level desire that I want to experience this season? Interesting. For you, my friend, and I will tag you and send this over to you, we have Meropi, and I'll show this to all platforms in a moment. And where's my book? Let me see. Yep, there you go. Meropi, the medicine woman, heal. Oh yes, this card is from the Palladian 7-Star Sisters, which they are ones that I work with very strongly most recently. And Merope, the medicine woman, is about healing. I nurture and nourish my mind, my body, and my soul. The first thing that comes to mind is one, perfect timing is that we have the full moon right behind her. And Merope, I will double check, but I believe she's a sister who's number 7 in terms of, they're also in tune with the chakra system. So number 7 would be the crown. And crown is divine connection to source. And as we've been saying throughout this whole cosmic tune-up journey today, when you're in direct alignment, your body, right? Mind and soul. And your mind is not wandering elsewhere. It's fully present in this moment right now. And even with your intention, your question that you have, it is answered for you. And even when I prayed about you and you asked this question today, I got a sense that it wasn't necessarily what's that next new thing. What I was getting, it was like, okay, completion. Where else can I expand? Like the moon. When you go from the stages of the new moon to the waxing, you're beginning to expand out of your circle, Aquarius, out of the boundary. What else? How more else can I make this come together and share that experience here? And again, it's not a thing, it's a feeling. How do you want to put this together? And so Merope sits down quietly. She tunes in. And if you tune into the morning rituals on Mondays that I host and lead for you guys, it's more about, can you take your sense of smell? Can you take your sense of hearing? Can you take your sense of feeling, emotions, and be right here? Mind, body, and soul. And that next step, that next inspiration that you get, no matter how it sounds like, no matter what it looks like in your head, even if you don't know what the 10,000 steps after the first step is going to look like, is the next step. The rest of your steps will be illuminated as you continue to hold the faith and trust and expand. And that's how the full moon begins to be illuminated. And it's full white light of glory. And so I'll send this message to you and tag you. We're at minute 38, so I'll remind myself to note it down on the YouTube channel, so it'll be easier access. And thank you so much, Sister Merope, for that message and clarity. Now we have next in, I'm almost 40 and never been married. No kids. My question is, will I ever be blessed with a family? Beautiful question. I invite you to take a moment right now just to place your right hand over your heart and take a deep breath in and exhale. And let's turn that question to an intention and prayer. I pray and I intend, I desire, as I breathe in, that I will be blessed with a family, with someone I can share my life with, someone I can build a new legacy, generation, and for those who will come after me will receive the fruits of my labor. And I just want you to I invite you, close your eyes and then say that 3 times intentionally. Why? Because as I hold space with you all as a collective, we're not just on an Instagram, we're also on other platforms. We're fully present in the highest vibration and with the angels and spirits, and our guides, they hear us. And I've seen how prayers work. And so this is perfect timing. And so as we go and say, in regards to your desire, and I encourage you to go back and watch the recording, because there's a couple messages that came forth about patience, and then also when it comes to prayer and holding a desire. We are declaring, we are not asking from a place of lack. We're remembering that we are worthy. So one, do you say yourself in terms of when you ask this for yourself, an intention prayer, and ask the divine, the universe, God, from a place of I am worthy of it? Or is there a question that for some reason comes up and makes you doubt that why is it taking so long? Or again, these are egoic thoughts. These are maybe other energies or thought forms that you picked up, and they have come into your creational space, and that we need to release and let go and transform. Because when you hold the truth that I am worthy and this is a desire I want, and I'm holding confidence, I'm letting the angels take it, right? They're taking care of it. Let me see, where else do I need to set my intention to focus on for me? They say sometimes, are you the person that the person you're looking for is looking for, right? Where do I need to be? You'll be guided to the right environment, the right conversations, the right people, and timing. But I believe it always comes back to, am I holding that space of love and abundance for me? Or is there something blocking energetically? And so as we go in and we say that our intention is, it's not that. Our intention is, what do I need to know? What is my next step? What do I need to focus on? As this is my intention that I'm holding, to have a blessed family. Okay. So we have for you, and I'll show it over here first and then I'll come out. We see the wise woman, the wise woman of all divine feminine, the Maya. And Maya is the ancient grandmother, the teacher. I am the teacher that leads with self-knowledge. And just take a moment to observe the card. I believe sometimes when we're practicing and just looking at symbology, because that's how spirit speaks to us, is through symbols. No, it's not necessary to use words, right? Especially when we all speak different languages sometimes. What are the things that come to you? And the first couple of things is we have root chakra. So that's, again, each sister is related to a chakra system. So that's a great thing to see, okay, what energy do I need to work on or look at, right, to open up. And root chakra is the base chakra, right where your pelvic floor sits. In a yoga class, I say squeeze your sit bones together, your glutes, and feel the earth below. And it's like the perineum, I believe. And so that chakra is all about safety, provisions, beliefs, what you hold there. So if there's any fear, for example, or beliefs of lack, it would be rooted there. What is rooted in that area, in this space, in regards to this question, in regards to this desire, intention, that is in the way? or that needs to be transformed and looked at. And the reason why we go to the root and look at our inner beliefs is because everything that you see externally is a reflection of what you're holding inside. So, for example, if a child grows up and their parents get divorced, right? And then they have a belief or a thought, and they go like, the way that they divorced wasn't a healthy, constructive way, and so now I believe all relationships are going to be like that. So whatever beliefs or some sort of experience in our life in the past that happened could be impacting and sort of energetically slowing down the manifestation of your prayer in this current time, right now. And so that goes back down to, okay, I need to look within, and is there something that I need to transform because it's energetically stopping the manifestation from coming forward. And I do believe, yes, you are worthy, one, of receiving that love and having, because that's a true pure desire. We're all allowed to have a relationship, a healthy marriage, children, right? If that's what you want. And nothing is out of limits when it comes to our ask and what we want for ourselves. And when we go in there, we just simply look at, okay, why am I questioning it, or why do I feel it's taking too long? Then we have this beautiful owl, the wisdom, and then we can transform it. And that's a message that came for this week, actually, too, for a lot of us. It's okay, full moon today. A lot of things that we're carrying and that we're seeing reflected in our outside world is actually just a mirror of thoughts that perhaps, and opinions that we've carried from somewhere else. Did someone say that I, did I have an experience that I might not, that made me question that I'm not worthy of receiving this? And that's just something to, I don't know your experience, that's something we can definitely talk about, but just to go in deeper. And sometimes I'll go in and I'll love to share and read this for you. If you listen to it and anything that comes to mind, take that in and see what that means. So in regards to this ask, the ancient grandmother, the teacher, says the key words are teach, lead, and inner wisdom. It says you've got this, and everything you need to know is already inside of you. Life has taught you to back yourself. Having confidence and believing in yourself will give you the aptitude to lead yourself in the right direction and offer sound guidance to others, to yourself. So, in symbology, Maya, the eldest sister of the Pleiades and ancient grandmother, supports you in gaining new insights and new understandings through your own intuitive channels and turning your knowledge into wisdom. Your empathetic leadership gently nurtures others to grow and evolve. So it all goes back to what Kalina had mentioned, stepping into that space of nurture and love and learning to look at this question through acceptance rather than judgment. Will I be able to lead myself out from this forest to see my understanding about this ask? But I want you to go in and just say, one, you're not asking in terms of a place of lack. You are praying with the intention and utmost desire that you are worthy of this prayer. And so, Dan, let me know if that resonated, if anything came up for you. Open to expanding that. And then shifting over to Kalina, let's see. How can I best empower my son in his journey? And she said, Pisces is your son of Pisces. So how can I best empower my son on this journey? And so we have Maya. But we have Maya in the sense that Maya comes forth. A lot of the Pleiadian star sisters, they have different expressions of themselves. And so we just had Maya, the great grandmother, wisdom, the teacher, leader, come forth. Now we have Maya, and I'll show it here because first over here, because Kalina is on the other platform for her to see. The Amazon Queen. It just says battle. It's probably backwards for Instagram. Maya, the Amazon Queen, battle. I am a devoted warrior of the universe. And so, looking again, ooh, I like this actually. Look at symbology, the first things that resonate for you and what come up. As I asked this and was shuffling the cards, I started seeing orange and yellow. So orange and yellow are the next two chakras right above. Again, Maya is the root, red chakra at the base. So we have base level is root red, navel is sacral orange, middle in your core, your abs, your belly is yellow for the solar plexus. And these are the first three right underneath the heart space, which is green and sits right here. You have great intentions, and when it comes to raising children, yes, Maya, are you leading from and teaching? Because as mothers, we all are, and not just, on the female physical aspect, but we're all teachers. They say that, I don't have children, but I've seen it where they say that children for parents are the teachers for you, right? And it goes both ways. You're helping to lead the child. And just like you are on your own unique journey in its self-expression, your child has their own unique journey in self-expression. And when you lead and when you teach as the Amazon Queen, as a household, right, crowned, you want to be devoted warrior of the universe, intention that this child, the way you're leading them and empowering your son on his journey, is in one that leads not out of fear, root chakra based, right, but out of empowerment, right, just like you said. It's funny. I'm seeing like, okay, empower, words, kindly, exactly how you came in. You speak to them through words of love and encouragement. Yes, I don't know how old your son is, but sometimes as children, we need a lot of that affirmation and encouraging energy and words. Sometimes it needs to be repeated over and over again. But are you leading through a constructive way rather than a way, look at your energy, because I don't know what the situation is, but, is that one that's sowing in energy of love that, even if maybe you're a little bit worried about where the direction is going, but holding space in the highest vibration. I know that when my intention is out of from a good heart-centered space, right? So moving up from the root chakra and of my own inner guidance and spirit guides. And the other thing that I thought was interesting when I was showing you this card for Maya, the Amazon Queen, was that she's sitting on an egg. She's nurturing something. You're nurturing your child, right? And that requires patience. We're all on this cosmic journey, and there was no freaking, rule book manuscript. And so sometimes it's trial and error. And look at your own ways of how you were brought up. How would I like to do it a little bit differently? How can I put more love and patience for myself, but also for my child? And I just find that that's one of the major things that comes forth is, again, patience, right? And 𝘛𝘳𝘢 here shares that solar plexus, I moved from leading from root issues and then into space, I think, of empowerment, plus solar plexus in the heart. And so moving up even further, moving up even further, crown chakra, you're moving up. How else can you expand that, right? Like I was saying, we don't come in with a rule book of all the secret notes. Sometimes the experiences in themselves are the lessons that we are getting our notes from, right? And so when we lead through a space of love, not just for the child, but your own inner child and for yourself, and leading with a space of grace and forgiveness for, I might not get it right this time, but I might get it right the next couple of times, right? The intention is that I learn, and that we learn quickly, but with the space of love and a willingness to at least allow ourselves to learn and grow from this experience, and then also for the other. Because again, we're all reflections on a higher dimensional level and of, knowingness. We all are mirror images of the journey that we're all both and everyone and one at the same time expanding towards. And she says, got ya. It's all about the energy I'm holding. And 𝘛𝘳𝘢, I'm not sure if you're following me on Instagram. If you are not yet, or if you have Instagram, go ahead and follow me, because then I have 2 more cards for you that I want to DM to you and just, get back to you that way, just because it'll keep going. The interesting fact, though, is that they're both, they're actually both sacral chakra cards. So, or if you want to go ahead and send me an email, I'll send it to you that way and see what comes forth from that. Going back, and I wanted to say thank you so much, 𝘛𝘳𝘢, and thank you so much, Dan. Dan here followed up after his reading. He says, wow, Empress, thank you. Yes, a few nails were hit on the head, words I needed to hear. I'm still interested in a session, so thank you, and you're welcome. And I appreciate you, Dan. I appreciate you, 𝘛𝘳𝘢, for being open and honest just to receiving. And this is the exact same thing. Sometimes we get so lost in our experiences of the day-to-day that while we're holding an intention or prayer, a desire in a certain area of our life, or again, going back into that picture of illustration, a sort of room in our house, right? In the sense of, relationships, or, mother-son dynamic, or, internal relationship. While we're waiting, sometimes we might pick up sounds like that that are coming through and not allowing you to hear yourself. Your voice of wisdom, your voice that is empowering you with clarity and truth and love and nurturing you. And these are the moments that we come forth together to just help you to, you know what? Finally, I get this energetic gunk off of me. This is not for me. And I'm going to step forth and go through that next moment while it is coming forth. So let all the lies, and I'm praying over everyone right here and for myself as well. Yes, I can send that to you. I'm praying for us all that right now, any energies that have come forth and attached themselves either in thought forms or low vibrational energies or spirits, they are not meant to be in the space. And because we all join as a collective with the intention that we hear our truth that will help us to lead forward, that is how we're going to leave it, right? And our sacred cosmic egg, in our cosmic bubble. And the reason why I go back to pointing at the cosmic egg is because this is a sacred ritual that I host every Monday, and it's already recorded on YouTube and in Instagram for you guys to go in and set your space. Own your highest vibration, walk in your truth, walk in your light. Receive the guidance that your voice is always speaking to you from the highest realms. And if no one has any other questions, I would say thank you so much. And I pray that, again, full moon energy, I thank you so much for being present here, for showing up, for listening through. And know that this weekend, hold your highest vibration, hold your highest truth. Hi, 𝘛𝘳𝘢𝘯𝘴𝘧𝘰𝘳𝘍. Hold your highest truth, hold your highest vibration. And for the next 2 weeks, if anything comes up for releasing, old thought forms, old beliefs, energies of lack that do not allow you to see yourself for the empowered Amazon queen that you are, work on just letting it go. Either you look at it in the sense of maybe this is something that is not true, or maybe this is something I need to release so I can really see the bigger picture and expand, right? And I share that message with you guys because I recently did a journey where I went in and I asked Source, let me see myself, let me feel myself in the sense of the moment that you created me. Let me feel that love that you had for me when you looked at me. And I got this beautiful vision. And that's why I'm shifting my whole work to reflect that vision, right? And that we're, a shining star. That we were shining out in the cosmos, out in the sky. And when Source looked at you, he looked at you, he fell in love and plucked you out of the sky and said, I wanted to experience you in a tangible form, hence the 3D manifestation of being reincarnated in this reality, in this world, right, in this lifetime now together. And I thought that was a beautiful journey. And if you're interested, I am doing donation-based services, and if you want to experience that love of just like knowingness and energy or anything else, feel free to DM me, send me an email. And happy full moon to you too, 𝘛𝘳𝘢𝘯𝘴𝘧𝘰𝘳𝘍. I pray I said that and pronounced it well. And until next time, I believe if you guys liked the fun that we had today, then I could do this weekly. That was my initial intention. And we could set a date, maybe Fridays would be best. And so, you guys have a beautiful full moon. Embrace the aqua. Embrace the expansion. Embrace it. You're not alone. And step out in your truth. Love you guys. And as always, closing out energetically, sealing it all in. Sat Nam. Thank you.